All right, all right. I think we're good to go ahead and start here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. And welcome back. It doesn't. It feels like both forever and like not that much time at all that since I last streamed. Because if you weren't here on last Wednesday, I said that I was going to be busy this weekend and I didn't stream, and that's what happened. I basically, I'll just, without getting into too much detail, basically, hello, Real Auto, Adam Punk. Sorry about that. I thought it said Auto Punk, but Adam Punk. Hello, welcome on in. But yeah, if you are new here, normally I stream every Wednesday and Sunday at least, doing one of these research streams. But basically, what happened was that this weekend I was busy and I wasn't able to stream on Sunday. So this is my first stream in a week. And it's crazy how like being gone for just a week makes you feel like I feel like there are so many things I've forgotten like how to do or just like to try and get back into it. You have to get back into like that mindset, especially because of this weekend. Without going into too much detail, basically I went to go see a friend's wedding this weekend, and so I was out of town, and was not able to stream on Sunday. But yeah, and everything went great. The wedding was great. I got to see a lot of high school friends that I haven't seen in a long time. Good way to like reconnect with people and everything. And but coming back was a whole different story because my flight was delayed. I left on Sunday, and my flight was delayed by 2 hours in the evening, and basically made it so I didn't get home till 1 a.m. I did not walk through the door of my apartment until 1 a.m. And that's on top of that, there was also the time change with daylight savings time here in America, which I think one of these days we'll get rid of. I feel like every year they're saying like, oh yeah, we're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of daylight savings time, but they're still doing it. So I don't know when that's supposed to take effect, but yeah. So basically, what I did was I called off work on Monday because I was supposed to work on Monday, but I was like, I would have only gotten like less than 4 hours of sleep, and I didn't want to do that, especially because the night before I only got 4 hours of sleep because of the wedding and catching my flight. It was just not not great. I was exhausted. So it's also why I couldn't stream on Sunday, because I wasn't home until like 1 a.m. The government will never relinquish its theft of our time. Yeah, no, that's maybe one day. They'll just keep saying it until they eventually do it. But let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, that was kind of the big thing. The big thing was that I didn't stream last week, and it's been a week. And it is also crazy just like how it felt weird not streaming during this time, because it's become so routine for me to stream on these days, that just not doing it for 1 week really just like it felt weird. It felt like I was missing something out of my routine. But oh shoot, I was gonna say something else, but then it just left my brain. Oh well. Probably wasn't that super important. But oh okay, I will say that I will also probably be doing a gorilla stream this weekend. So those are streams where it's like I don't stream on my normal Wednesday and Sunday time. Those are normally on like Friday or Saturday, and I normally don't do research. This is going to be our research stream today, and I'll talk about what we're going to be doing today in just a little bit, for anybody who's new here. But let's see. Oh yes, I do want to also, because I think right before I left, I also uploaded a short to my YouTube channel about some of the research that we've been doing, and that's been getting great support. So thank you guys again so much for the support on that. Those have been doing great, and I really do enjoy making them. So if you're not following me on YouTube, I do have it linked down below. where I have uploaded shorts based where I've talked about some of the things that we've discovered on our streams, on our research streams. And yeah, so I'm working on another one. Probably won't be out for another like 2 weeks, just because of timing, with me being gone and busy this weekend and everything. Haven't really had a chance to work on anything else. And I also am working on some other future stream stuff that I'll just tease a little bit right here. Oh, thank you, Real Adam Punk. That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for following on YouTube. That's what's funny is that my YouTube my YouTube subscribers and my Twitch followers are like the past like few months have been like neck and neck, like passing each other. It's been really funny to see how like they keep going back and forth, and it makes me really curious which one I'm gonna hit 150 on first. But yeah, so there's that. Oh, and yes, and with daylight savings time, which of course is annoying in the fact that it makes it very difficult to, fall asleep and do all that fun stuff. The one thing I do love about daylight savings time is that now it is finally lighter, longer. I love it so much. That is the one thing I do hate about winter. One of the few things I don't like about winter, but the thing I do hate is I hate the short days. I need sunlight. And part of the reason is because at my job, where in the museum job that I work at, I basically work in a windowless room all day, in like a dimly lit windowless room all day. So I see like almost no sunlight throughout the day. And there are not so much now obviously because of daylight savings time, it's not going to happen. But during like at the beginning of winter, like when it's really short days, there were days where it was like I would get to work, it would be dark out, and then I would leave work and it would be dark out, and that to me just like ruins my mood. It really does. It just feels so depressing to go through that personally. But also it's getting warmer, which I also love. In fact, I don't even need. I might have to take off my like little like kind of like jacket that I have on right now and just go t-shirt because it's actually pretty warm. I haven't had to have my heat on at all past like few days, which is awesome. I love it so much. I can actually do and it's that combined with it being lighter out feels awesome. Feels absolutely awesome. But yeah, let's see. I think that's enough talking about just random stuff for now. Let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing today. So let me go ahead and first make myself a little bit smaller here. All right, so get ready for a creepy Victorian children jump scare. There they are. So this is the project that we've currently been working on. Working on a museum sounds so cool. It is, honestly. I mean, I love it. I'm a big history nerd, as you can tell, and so it is really awesome to be surrounded by historical stuff all the time. And it is really fun, because sometimes you find cool stuff or you discover things that you didn't even know was in your collection. I will say, though, nobody goes into the museum field to make money. We do it because we're passionate about the subject. Because money, it's not a money-making field. Since most museums are nonprofits and have barely any budget to begin with. So, yeah, so anyway, so this is what we are currently working on. This is a antique photo that I bought at an antique store when I was visiting family around the holidays, and we went to an antique store. And in this photo, there are 24 children for attending a birthday party. And what makes this photo unique is that, as you can see, there are numbers on them. And the reason why there are all these numbers on them is because on the back of the photo, which is this right here, on the back of the photo, whoever owned this photo put down the name of every single person in the photo along with a number corresponding with the person in the photo. And we also get some more context about what the photo is on here. We can see that the photo was taken on July 13th, 1888, and it's for a Eleanor Metcalf's birthday party. And we also see, hey, Pirate, good to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a good evening. It's good to see you back. Sorry I wasn't around this weekend. But hopefully we'll make up for it today. But also, we know on the bottom of this photograph that this photo was owned by a person named Henry M. Dunn, and that they lived in Taconic, Pennsylvania. And basically, doing preliminary research for this, we were able to determine that this photo was taken in Taconic, Pennsylvania, because almost every person in this photo was living in Taconic, Pennsylvania at the time. We were able to find people with these same names living in Taconic, and from that we were able to find everybody else, and it's just been kind of a snowball effect of finding everybody. So far, we have found 10. We've done the first 10 people here out of 24, so we're almost halfway there. Today, we're going to be doing number 11, which you can see here. Number 11 is a girl named Bessie Lighton, which if you look in the photo, you can see number 11 right there in front of the tree. That's her. That's who we're going to be researching. All right. Oh, thank you, Adam Punk. Yeah, I mean, I really love it. I'm just happy that other people think it's cool too. I was so nervous when I started streaming this kind of stuff that like nobody was going to care, nobody was going to be interested. So it's really awesome that, you know, people do find this interesting, because I was doing this just on my own without streaming it, you know, beforehand, looking at other photos and other things and doing other research. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's go to a classroom. All right, so this is just to give you a quick overview. This is my spreadsheet of everyone that we've researched so far, where I've put information that we found about them, like their birthday, their parents' names, how old they were when the photo was taken, where they were living at the time the photo was taken, and so far everybody has been Taconic except for one person. And then just other information about their life and then their death. Okay, let's see if we can do... I'll try not to sound too rambly for this part, but let's just do a quick review of everybody we have researched so far. We started with Harry Fosselman, who was very difficult to find, unfortunately, and that was because, unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 17 from Bright's disease. And he was also difficult to find because his father was a pastor and constantly moved around throughout Harry's life. Then we have Harry Lewis. Harry Lewis was the son of a lawyer, and also went on to become a lawyer himself, as well as an insurance agent, and also was a huge automobile junkie, and he loved cars when they were after they got invented and everything, and actually after a while owned his own car dealership. And then we have Ruth Terry. Ruth was kind of similar to Harry in that she only lived to be 25 and was very sick. And that her father... Was her father also a pastor? I think her father was also a pastor and also moved around a lot. Then we have Marion Metcalf. Marion is the older sister of Eleanor Metcalf, whose birthday party is being celebrated in this photo. Marion was crazy interesting to learn about because we discovered that her husband was a gold medal Olympic sprinter. He won 2 gold medals, 2 silver, and a bronze at the 1900 Paris Olympic Games in sprinting. His name was Walter Texbury, right there. And after retiring from athletics, was a dentist for the rest of his life. Let's see. Then we have Amy Brown. Amy Brown her stream was crazy because it took me 3 hours just to find her in the historic record. It took me 3 hours to find her and her sister, Edna Brown, who we're going to research later, who's also in this photo. It took me 3 hours on stream to find her and her sister because Brown is a very common last name, and her father was also a pastor, and also moved around a lot. And then Flora Fosselman. So Flora is Harry Fosselman's older sister. She went on to get married to a man named George Walter Neff, and lived to be the age of 68. And then Eliza oh god, Eliza. Oof. Eliza Furman's stream was, if you thought the Olympic sprinter was a crazy thing to discover, Eliza was absolutely insane. Eliza basically, so she unfortunately passed away at the age of 15. But then we discovered that she was actually adopted at the age of 3. Furman is not her legal last name. Her legal parents were birth parents were a man named Robert Barclay and Adeline Barclay. Her mother, Adeline, passed away when Eliza was only 3 years old. And Robert, when that happened, gave up all of his kids to adoption. He did not take on any of his kids. And at first, when I was researching this, I thought, okay, maybe, he was poor, and that was kind of common that when people, weren't able to take care of their kids, they would have somebody else take care of them. But then I discovered that he was also on top of working for the railroad, he also owned a shoe store in town. So he wasn't strapped for cash. And then we also found a newspaper from a few years later where he was a personal ad, basically his Tinder profile saying that he was a bachelor and he was looking for a woman. As far as we can tell, he had no relationship with his siblings, not with his children after his wife died. Even though he still lived in the same town as Eliza and his other kids. He lived in the same town. And then also we discovered that when Eliza died at 15, she initially was buried with her mother at her next to her mother's grave and everything in the same cemetery. But then a year later, the Furman family, her adopted family, went on, actually removed her body and moved her to their plot in this cemetery, in Sunnyside Cemetery, to be with her, or so that she would be with their family. And I think that, if anything, proves, one, that she was greatly loved and supported by her adopted family. They basically considered her own. And also that she probably had almost no relationship, again, with her father, because her father did not fight this, from what I could tell. What I could find. And then also we found a newspaper article that Eliza was almost hit by a train when she was 2 years old. And then we also discovered that she did have siblings, but we couldn't find all of them because they were also sent to different families to live with and be adopted by. I could only find 2, and they all either died young or were in a horrible accident. Her one older sibling died at the age of 3, and then her other brother at age 18 was in a horrible mill accident and broke several bones, and his hand was amputated. Just crazy stuff we uncovered that stream. Then we had Ruth Hodley. Let's see, Ruth. Oh yeah, Ruth unfortunately also died young at the age of 18. She was also, she never knew her father because her father died while her mother was pregnant with her, and he died while out west in Colorado trying to make it rich in the silver mines out there. Then we had Helen Lewis, who was the older sister of Harry Lewis. Helen Lewis was basically, she was single her whole life. She did a lot. She never had a real official like job, but she did a lot of philanthropic work around town, helping construct the town or set up the town library, and doing a lot of work with her church and stuff like that, and mission work. But then we discovered that she died on her birthday. Or no, sorry, she didn't die on her birthday. She got on her birthday while walking home from her church. She was hit by a truck and then died a few days later. So, yeah, she got hit by a truck on her birthday. Crazy stuff. And then Mary Baldwin, the last person we researched, Mary Baldwin also passed away slightly younger at age 40. I discovered from her death certificate that she did suffer from epilepsy, and we also found several newspaper articles throughout her life of her being sick, so she likely never married or anything like that because she was sick so often. Also, we discovered that her father had owned a local newspaper, and in the newspaper we found articles where he was like beefing with the other like rival newspaper, and they were both calling each other out like on like different things and like roasting each other. It was actually really funny and crazy to discover. Yeah, there are a lot of, but while there are funny moments, yes, there is, there are some sad things too. It's a mixture. It's a mixture of like crazy. It's a mixture of emotions when you research this stuff, because it is sad, because these are, real people. They were real people just like you and me. And they experienced these things, but also it's just like great. Like sometimes it's like ridiculous, crazy stuff that you would never expect to find, or you never expect to be in something like it. Like you never expect to find in like from a photograph, from Pennsylvania, from the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania in the 1880s. But, yeah, it really has been just a wild ride. Also, crazy discovery that like of the 10, we researched 10 people so far, and out of those 10, only 3 of them ever got married and had kids. Now, some of them are obviously because they died young, but other one, like we've had 2 other women who just straight up just never got married. Which honestly, I'm surprised. Like that this is more, I was expecting more of maybe like a 50-50, but I guess we'll kind of see today where that's going to lead us. Because today, we're going to be looking up Bessie Lighton. Now, I don't remember what we found about Bessie before when we did our preliminary research. So I don't, so this is kind of going to be basically a fresh look for me. So let's go ahead and let's move on to Ancestry here. Hello, Monarch. Are we still on this one photo? Also, did it end up being Amy or Gary? Oh, yes, we are still... It's good to see you, Monarch. And yes, we are still on this same photo. It's crazy. We're not even halfway through this photo. We've researched 10 out of 24 people. And it did turn out being Amy. It was Amy Brown was the name. I think it's the one you're referring to. Is this time period the start of the USA birth rate declined? I think it's a little early for that, Pirate. I don't think that's really happening just yet. I don't think that really starts to happening until like turn of the 19th century into the 20th century. You kind of start to get that. Once you kind of get more like urbanization and everything like that, like that's kind of when it starts to more urbanization. It starts to go down. Okay, yeah, so that was it, Monarch. Yeah, and also Monarch, when I was researching Amy, it took me 3 hours to find her in the historic record. 3 hours. It was absolutely insane. But I did it. I was so close to giving up, but I stuck with it. All I remember is as possibly a birthday party or some sort, and people's siblings / cousins were dragged along. Yes, it is a... Hold on, wait. I think I do have it. Where is it? Is it this one? Oh god, sorry for the creepy Victorian children jump scare. Yes, it is a birthday photo. This is a birthday photo from 1888, and yes, there are multiple siblings and cousins in this photo as well. And so today we're going to research somebody who I don't think is related to anybody, Bessie Lighton. And so far, what I can tell, that for the people who aren't like family related in this photo, it seems to be people who all went to the same church. Because majority of the people here went to the Presbyterian Church in Taconic, Pennsylvania. So I'm pretty sure that's the connection for a lot of these people. Maybe not everybody, but for a lot of them. They're Presbyterian. Okay. Okay. So believe it or not, if you can tell the name on the back or hairstyle, look at the person's clothes, as if it's a lighter colors, it is more likely to be a boy, darker is girl. Interesting. Because I feel like most of the people in the photo are wearing white or some sort of like lighter clothing. So I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. I haven't heard that before. But I feel like that also maybe depends on the time period too. All right. So let's start looking for Bessie. Yes, and I have heard that too. Yeah, that pink was manly color and blue was associated with femininity. Yes, I have heard that. Whoops. All right, is that Leighton? Leighton. Okay, yes, did spell it right. I do remember there was one person we researched in a different photograph where it was an individual photo of like a kid, probably like 2 years old. And initially I thought it was a girl, just like looking at it, because it looked like he was wearing like a dress. I thought that it was a girl, and because of that, I thought the name on the back was something else, was like a girl name, until I found in historical records a boy name that was about the same age, and then I realized that it was a boy, and I forgot that basically, Monarch, about how they used to wear I basically forgot that it was, I forgot about how they used to do that back then, how like toddlers and babies like wore basically dresses. It didn't matter to the gender. Okay, so we know they're in Wyoming County, Pennsylvania. I don't know their birth year yet, so we're just going to see if this is going to bring anything. Okay, let's see. Hey, Neff, good to see you. Welcome on in. Thank you for lurking. To do an English essay. Ooh, good luck, man. Good luck. My teacher doesn't believe in other classes giving us homework. That's a common thread amongst teachers. Okay, so right off the bat, I do see, it looks like we might have found her. This is very easy. So we'll start with this census record. Let's see. Hold on, wait. Sorry, I missed something earlier. In like 100 years, if people are still around, I have to imagine social media would offer an unprecedented view of daily life of normal people. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like but the problem is going to be preserving all of that because that's so much data that has to be stored on like, servers and stuff like that. And it's going to be very difficult to record all that. It's very like it's going to take a lot of energy and a lot of storage to preserve all this stuff. And I think people don't realize how like vulnerable digital stuff is compared to physical stuff, because all it takes is just for one thing to be all it takes is for one like thing to get corrupted, a file to get corrupted, or a hard drive to get corrupted, or things like that, and you lose so much, you lose it all basically. So sometimes physical, again, that's why people are clamoring for physical media nowadays. Now that they're kind of realizing that with streaming, it's like, oh, it can disappear at any time, and I just don't physically have it. It's kind of the same thing. Isn't something like I've had weeks to do this essay. It was given at 1 p.m. today, now 11. Oh boy. Jeez. 3 boosts down. I ain't sleeping for a good few hours. Hey man, good luck. Why are you watching me then? Go do your work, man. Go work on this thing. I know I'm not a professor, but I'm gonna pretend to be a professor for a second and say go. Yeah, okay, yeah, use it as good background noise. All right, there you go. Yeah, use me. Put me on the second monitor. All right. We should start chiseling tweets into stone. Honestly, yeah, that is how the best way to make things like last long is to like carve it into stone. That is honestly the best way to do it. Genealogy sounds interesting enough. Keeps the brain focused. I hope so. Well, good luck. I wish you good luck on your essay, and hopefully you'll be able to do it and not have to stay up too late. All right, but let's see here. So we do have a Bessie Lighton here. That this all does sound right. Born February 1882. In 1900, though, she was living in Chester, Pennsylvania. So let's look at this real quick. Let's take a look at the census record. Okay. So she's living with her parents. Oh, they wrote like on top of this, so it's really hard. Sam and Saria. Okay. Okay, yeah, so she was born February 1882, according to this. Wow, big age gap between her older brother. Wow, and has tons of siblings. Going all the way down to the age of 7. South Coventry, Chester, Pennsylvania. Okay, we'll look up in a second. Let's see. Okay. Her father was a farm laborer. Everybody else is at school. Okay. I think this is like the first person we've come across where their father was actually a farmer. Everybody else has been like, like attorney, pastor, judge, like stuff like that, like newspaper editor. I think this is our first like proper farmer in this. I feel like future historians are going to be completely lost in the evolution of Doge. I mean, just memes in general, for so many people are going to be, so much context I feel like is going to be lost if it's not like, properly recorded fully. But anthropologists in like 100 years are going to have a field day with all of this. Okay. So this is the 1900 census. What other censuses do we have here? We have 1910. Newspapers, birth certificates. Elizabeth Hellman. Irene. Okay, this is... Is this Bessie the same Bessie? This 1910 census. Let's look at this real quick. Because that's the only... We stop after that. Oh, wait, no, there is a... This is Arena Hallman. This is Bessie Hallman. Let's see. Okay, Bessie, Charles, living in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, in Montgomery County. Okay. So she didn't stay in Tacanic. I think she's like one of the... Because I think she was born in Tacanic, but she left. Her family left. Okay, so she does get married. Occupation. What does this say? Is that fish merchant? Because it says the transcription thing, when you hover over it, says fish. I guess that is fish? Fish merchant? I guess that... Okay, that is merchant. A fish merchant. I'm assuming that... I mean, we'll find out in a second. We'll look at it. We'll look it up in a little bit. But I'm assuming Pottstown is either... It has to be on like a major river, or it's near like the... Pennsylvania doesn't have a coast, though. Pennsylvania doesn't have a coast. It doesn't have a coastline. So I'm assuming it's on like a major river. Oh, and we do have an actual like address number and a street name. Henry? Hilly? High? I don't think that's High. It's H-I... It ends with a Y. I think maybe we'll find that. Maybe if they live in the same house later, we'll find it on something else and it'll be written better. Okay. That's it? That's all that we have? Oh, wait, no. Okay, we do have this 1920 census. Let's see if this is the same person. I don't think this is the same person. Yeah, because this is saying Irene Hallman. I think these are getting mixed up with multiple people, because if we look at this... Reina, 36. I mean... It could be her. It's just a little hard to... But I don't think it is, because that doesn't match what we have here. Let's look at the city directory, actually. Okay, yeah, Charles. So we're looking for people with the name Charles. This is from 1918. So again, if that 1920 census isn't her... $134. Oh, is it King Street? Hold on. Oh, it is King Street. K-I-N-G. It's King Street. Okay, yeah, because 134. So they're living in the same place. Pottstown, West Ward. This is for Norristown. Maybe Norristown and Pottstown are really close together. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Look at this. Hold on. Widowed. Bessie Hallman, widow of Charles. Okay. So she was living on her own. Okay. So Charles passes away This is 1918. So between 1910 and 1918, he dies. Okay, and according to this, it says, okay, under years married, they've been married for 2 years, so they got married around 1908. Got married around 1908. And this is a birth certificate. Actually, wait, hold on. Let's look at this 1920 census again real quick. Does it say, okay, hold on, because if it says she's a boarder, this says that she's married. So yeah, I don't think this is her. Pennsylvania, USA. I'm trying to, I'm gonna be honest, Monarch, I'm trying to decipher your message there. Is there something going on in is there a spider in your room? I don't think this is her. Because it's saying that she's still married. Uh, oh, you're talking about, oh, okay, I see. They cannot get dizzy. I guess that makes sense because of all the eyes. I guess that does make sense because of all the eyes. Okay, so let's then, if we can't, I don't want to look at her birth or death certificate yet because I say that for the end. Because I normally try to save the death certificates for as the last thing that we research or that we look up on this little bit, just so that, like, you know, we kind of don't get any like spoilers, I guess, for like other things that we can learn in other ways. So okay, so we looked at that city directory. I don't think that this 1920 census is her. Okay, hold on. There's this city directory. E. Irene Hallman, Norristown. No, this is a different Irene. Okay, this is Edith Irene Hallman. Yeah, that's not who we're supposed to be looking at right now. That's somebody else. So that's going to be annoying to try and like get those things kind of like not mixed up. What's this birth certificate? Elmer Hellman. Irene Hellman. 18 years. No, okay, this isn't her. This is not her. So these are all just getting mixed up with a bunch of different different things. Let's look at, what about this? This is a church record. Bessie L. Hallman. But this is, oh wait, what was the year? Oh, this is 1931. Hold on. Hold on. Is this... Oh my god, this is her. This is her. She did remarry. 45. Pottstown, that is where she was living. Jacob Miller. He's 50. She's 45. Yeah, Samuel and Sarah. I think that's... Though that is her parents, right? Yeah. Okay, so that is her. So look at that. Wow, she got married almost... When is this, 1931? Almost... At least, like, 12 years later. 12, 13 years later. Wow, okay. Okay. So then, if that is her, that means this... Okay, yeah, so her last name was Miller after 1930. Okay, then what is this record, then? And if she was alive in 1930, 1920, and 1930, she does have to be in the historic record. Elizabeth Holman. What is this? Day of admission into Central Presbyterian. That could be her? There's not really enough to go off of. There's not really enough here to, like, confirm that this is the right Elizabeth Hallman. Because now we know that there are multiple living in this area. I don't think that is her. But I do know now that this... Hold on, wait. If I go back here... She has to be in a 1930 census. Unless she doesn't... Well, that's the thing, though. Bessie, I feel like, is more of, like, her middle name. Bessie L. Hallman. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What is... Oh. Hold on. This is a different Bessie Lighton. This Bessie Lighton was born... Bertha brother. Wow, she had a lot of siblings. Hold on. Yeah, I'm starting to realize maybe I wasn't looking at the right person. Because... This is Bessie June Lighton. This is a different... This is a Bessie Lighton who was born in February of 1882. Hold on, wait. What does this family book say? Okay, Charles Luther Hallman married Bessie Lighton, born March 9th, 1882, died November 22nd, 1935. reside in Philadelphia. She married secondly Jacob Miller. Okay, yeah, secondly Jacob Miller. No children. Hold on. Okay. This doesn't say where this Bessie Lighton was born. Oh God. Hold on. Okay. There's two. I did not think this was going to happen. There are two Bessie Lightons who were born in 1882 from the same area. But this says that she was... Okay, this Bessie Lighton was born in June of 1882. And this one specifically says that she was born in Tacanic. Now that I think... there's nothing here that says anything about... There's nothing in this that says anything about her being born in... Actually, no, wait, hold on. Let's look at her... Let's look at her... Let's look at her death certificate. Married. I'm a father. Birthplace, Pennsylvania. Could put up the chance. I mean, I don't like to do that with this stuff. Gotta be... I'm too stubborn for that. I like to be exact. So yeah, Sarah and Samuel. 53. North County. Date of death, November 22nd, 1935. Cerebral hemorrhage. Yeah, there's nothing here about her... Let's see where she was... Yeah, there's nothing... Unfortunately, yeah, if it just said right here where she was born, then I'd be more convinced to think that this is the right Bessie Lighton. But now that I think about it, there's nothing here that says that she's still there, or that she was born there. Also, I just realized something. Okay, so one of the things that we also research when we do this stuff is newspapers, which we'll get to later after we finish working with Ancestry. But there have been newspaper articles that Bessie has been in. There have been, when we've researched other people, she has been mentioned in other research, Bessie has been mentioned in other newspaper articles around the time that this census record, 1900, this 1900 census record says that she wasn't living in Tacanic, Pennsylvania anymore. So yeah, so no, I think I was looking at, this whole time, I think I was looking at the wrong Bessie. I think I want this one. Because this is U.S. history books. I think this is her. Bessie June Lighton, born June 25th, 1882, married June... Children of James G. and Marion A. Lighton, all born at Tacanic. Okay, yeah. This one has to be her. This one has to be her. Because this one we know specifically was born in Tacanic. son of George and Sarah Louise. She is a graduate of Perkiomen Seminary, Pennsburg, Pennsylvania, in 1900. He of Keystone State Normal School, Costa, Pennsylvania, in 1897. Of Perkiomen Seminary, 1899. Of Harvard University in 1903. Member of Phi Beta Kappa Alpha Chapter, Massachusetts. Teacher of English in the English High School, Boston, Massachusetts. West Mansfield, Massachusetts. Children. Carl, Luther, and Hubert. Okay. Yeah, no, I think this is the right Bessie. Yeah. No, this is... So let me go ahead actually and get rid of all these ones because this is the wrong person. That is not our Bessie. Or Bessie. Because is that family record here? Oh, there's a lot here. Because hold on, let's look at this 1900 census. Okay. Elizabeth J. Lighton, June 1882. Montgomery County, Pennsburg. Oh, that's right, because she's going to school at this time. These are all likely students at the school. Yeah, student, 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 student. Student, 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 student. It's all students. Okay. Okay. Pennsburg, Montgomery. Okay. And then this 1910 census. She married? Yes, she is. So she gets married between 1900 and 1910, where she marries Clinton, and then Carl, 2733. Okay, well, they've been married for so they got married around 1905. If according to this, they've been married for 5 years. She doesn't have a job, and yeah, he's an English teacher. Teacher, high school. Yeah. He's an English teacher. Okay, so then 1900 census. Okay, yeah, and these are her. Yeah, Carl, Luther, and Hubert. Wow, there's a big age gap between Carl and Luther. Wow. And okay, yeah, and they're living in Mansfield, Massachusetts. Well, where they were living in 1910, I didn't even look. Oh, okay, North Greenbush, New York. Probably just wherever he could get a job teaching. Yeah, teacher. That's him. Oh, wow. Sorry, I just heard, like, noises outside, and, like, it's actually thunderstorming right now, out of nowhere. Like, heavy rain. I didn't think said it was going to rain at all today, but I guess it is. All right. All right, so let's look at this 1930 census. Oh, look at this. Ooh. Look at this handwriting. Look at that beautiful print handwriting. Whoever did this, the census taker who did this record, God bless you for doing this. School Street. Oh yeah, this is also in Mansfield still. Pennsylvania. teacher. Oh, and Carl's an inspector. Carl's an inspector with Vitaphone. Vitaphone company. Okay. So let's see. So 1940 census. Okay, and they're living on their own. Yeah, 6257. He's probably still teaching, but he could retire. They're living on School Street in Mansfield. Oh wow, the rain's really coming down. I can hear it hitting the window pretty hard. Yep, teacher, public school. So he's still teaching. He is still teaching. Let's... Okay, the final census record that we have for her is 1950, because that's the most recent one that's available. Still gotta wait for a few more years before they make the 1960 records public. Yep. Okay, yeah. School Street. He has to be... Oh, well, no, he's still teaching. Oh, wait, no, retired. Okay. For a second, because normally when they say retired here, if they are retired, okay, no, here, he is retired. He was, so it... Yeah, 73, he's not working anymore. That makes sense. Okay, so that's those records. Those are the census records. Let's see. Okay, I want to look at this one next. The marriage record. Is this their marriage record? Yeah, this is it. Clinton and Elizabeth. None. Age of man, 27. Age of woman, 22. Residence of man, Ann Arbor, Massachusetts. Residence of woman, Taconic, Pennsylvania. Okay, that to me, 100%, that to me is 100% proof that this is the right person. That Bessie, or Elizabeth, as her real name is. This is the person in the photo. This is the person we've been looking for. Okay. All right. So, guardian parents, man. George and Sarah Sheffield, parents, James and Maria. Okay. Never mind. Occupation of man, teacher. Occupation of woman. Okay, so she was a teacher. Okay, yeah, so she was a teacher at one point. And this is June 1904. Okay, yeah. Okay. So we got a few things here. We have city directories and Presbyterian records. Let's look at this Presbyterian record. Register of... Or are these marriages? They are. Okay. Okay, yeah, so she was in the Presbyterian Church. Again, how these people are all... That's so far how most of these people are related, is that they're... They knew each other from church. And there they are, yeah. Actually, wait, hold on. I realized I forgot to make it so that this was a separate tab. It's a little hard to tell here. Yeah, Titanic. Oh, no, wait, it's... Hold on, how many from the bottom is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the fourth one from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Andover, Massachusetts. Okay, so that's where they were living at the time. Andover, Massachusetts. Okay. Let's see. We got the marriage. Let's look at the city directory real quick. Where's this from? Cambridge, Massachusetts, 1902. Don't think this is her. I think this is a different Elizabeth because this says Mrs. right here, as in that Leighton is her married name. Yeah, that's not her. This is a different Elizabeth. Okay. Then we do have these two right here, these two Massachusetts records. Town and Vital records. 1882 to 1914. Birth records. Are these... where... What's the name of the child? Hold on, wait. Name of parents. Where... Clinton C. and Elizabeth. Carl. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. The parentheses here is the maiden name, and then because they have the birth name right here for the child who was born, so that's why they don't put it again here. Okay. I was confused for a second. I thought that wasn't the right person because again, it was calling Elizabeth by her birth name or her maiden name. Okay, so that's their birth record. Now, there's one other thing here. This is death record. Yep, this is her, Elizabeth June. Altenborough, 1960. So 1960 is when she passed away. So that means she lived to be in her upper 70s? Okay. Now, something else I noticed on this one is that we actually do have a photo here. Oh, whoa. Wait a second. Hey, good job, Monarch. You finished your bit of essay. That's awesome. I hope I could have helped a little bit with that. I hope I was able to help a little bit with that. Gonna play my PlayStation for a bit and go, so yeah, of course, man. Enjoy, man. You got through it. Definitely probably a lot faster than I would have. Okay, so is that her? That looks like photo of Beth around her the time of her marriage to Clinton. Okay, so according to this, that is her. I mean, it's a little hard to tell based on these photos, like compared to the photo above me in this photo, because the quality is so bad of this one to really get any detail. What is this? Oh, this quality is so bad. Okay. Died March 23rd, 1960. Married 25th of June, 1904 at Tacanic to Clinton Cyrus Shelfie, born in Weaverville, Northampton City, Pennsylvania. And he died in June of 19... Okay, so this is saying that her husband, Clinton, died in June of 1963. Elizabeth June was called Bessie as a child, and Beth or Elizabeth as an adult. The following is an excerpt from James Gardner Leighton's diary recounting the arrival of his first child. Oh, wait, does he... Where is his diary? Yesterday, after a hot, day in the store, retired at about 10 o'clock, but did not get any sleep, as Mary was unwell, and at about 11:30 I went to Miss Barnes, who has been staying at Mr. Lewis's, waiting for this event. The Lewis family. The Lewis family that's also in this photo. God, it's, again, crazy seeing how everybody's connected. Having called her through the window, went on for Dr. Dawes, whom I found at home. After a hard, difficult labor lasting until 6:45 this morning, our baby was born. A fine, healthy girl, weight by a pair of spring scales that I borrowed from Mr. Lewis, 8.5 pounds. Bessie grew to adulthood as a happy, healthy, and intelligent child, according to accounts in her father's diary. She studied to be a teacher, graduated from Perkimon Seminary, Pennsburg, Pennsylvania, in 1900, and had position in the second primary department of the Tacanic School and at the Perkimon Seminary. Her father, on 24th of June 1904, Thanksgiving Day, entered the following in his diary describing her wedding. Okay, where is this diary? Is this a publicly available diary, or is this just something that somebody made because they have it and they transcribed it? Ooh, good luck, Monarch, on working on your drawing some D&D stuff. Ooh, adopt one of the spider's children in the D&D campaign. Hey, you can make it like a familiar maybe or something like that. Or just their pet. Having a giant spider pet. It's like Aragog in Harry Potter. Okay. During the year past, Elizabeth was happily married June 25th to Clinton C. Sheffey, graduate of Harvard College, professor of English at Andover, and a thoroughly trained, pleasant, courteous gentleman whom we all admire and have learned to love. The only man Beth ever really cared for, and there seems to be an uncommon affinity between them. They are now living in Andover, and Frank is to take dinner with them today, as he has been at Andover Academy since the fall term began, waiting on table to pay his board and playing on the football team as well as studying. Beth writes to her mother nearly every day, and Frank writes frequently, and it seems to us quite a reward for the care and expense of rearing children that they bear us in loving remembrance when they leave home. The services this morning were held in our Presbyterian church Sermon by Reverend Jacobs at the Baptist Church. Mr. I.T. Kepperly and Jenny Thompson took dinner with us. We had a fine turkey, beautifully done, and the usual delicious accompaniments. Speaking of Beth's marriage, it is too bad that we failed to make record at the time while the details were fresh in our minds. But there has been such a press of affairs and so much of hurry and work that we have little time in recording them as they pass. Beth taught at Perkiomen last year and Clinton at Andover. She left for home June 24th and was joined by Clinton at Allentown and were married quietly at home next day by Reverend J.W. Bischoff, our new Presbyterian minister, it being anniversary of her birth, 22 years. They spent a week quietly at Lake Harvey. Then, after a few days here, went to Perkiomen, where they taught in the summer school for about 6 weeks. When school was out, they visited Clinton's relatives for a week near Allentown, coming for a visit until Clinton left for Andover September 18th. Beth staying with us until November 10th. Her visit home free from outside duties, with a desire to be useful, made her visit a delight to her mother and pleasure to us all. She left for Andover November 10th, preceded by 4 bundles of bedding, clothing, nuts, apples, canned goods, etc. by freight. Clinton Sheffield graduated from Keystone State's Normal School in 1897, Perkiomen Seminary in 1899, Harvard University in 1903. He was a member of the Phi Kappa Beta and teacher of English at the English High School, Boston. Okay, so yes, that's kind of just repeating the same thing we read in the other family history book. Is this some? I'm starting to think this is probably just somebody's like private notes. Because this is Hubert Sheffy. Okay, this is the same thing, just typed differently. Yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing we just read. Wait, here we go. By 1915, the Sheffy's home was in West Mansfield, Maine, and was called Lark Meadows. Demir Leighton, Beth's brother, wrote of his family in Tunkhannock the following. I very much approve of their farm. Everything about the house is so bright and clean. It is newly papered and painted on the inside. The whole place shows that someone has been busy straightening it up. At least it shows it when all the improvements have been pointed out to you. They have almost all kinds of fruits and vegetables. There is no cry for rain here. I hope you've had some by this time. Friday, Carl, Beth's son, took me all over the place and then to the cranberry crop. We picked some good-sized pans full of cranberries before dinner. This morning, Carl and I gathered a few hazelnuts and, with Clinton, took a long walk through the woods. At Lake Meadows, Beth had ample opportunity to cultivate a lovely garden, including her iris bed, which produced prize-winning specimen that she sold to people in the United States and abroad. She also specialized in daylilies. She developed one iris that she named Tunkhannock, and which was purchased by the Wayside Gardens Nursery. One of her better-known customers was the wife of the Council of the Dominican Republic? Hold on, wait. Wait a second. So, you're telling me that So she was basically a professional gardener and like flower breeder. One of her better known customers was the wife of the consul in the Dominican Republic. She was selling flowers to like powerful people. I was also interested in antiques, which she collected as gifts for friends and relatives as well as to sell. Okay, that's a drawing of their house. Have we veered really off track? No, not really, because this is all about her. It's just that, again, these things end up going places that you never expect. Clinton preferred to spend his leisure hours reading, and if time permitted, would spend many hours a day with his books. Yeah, we already read all that about him graduating by Kappa Beta. He spent his life teaching, first for 5 years at Phillips Academy in Andover, and then at the Troy, New York High School, which he left in 1910 to go to English High School in Boston. He remained there for 37 years until his retirement in 1947. Besides his professional career, Clinton Sheffy served 2 terms on the Mansfield School Committee and was chairman of the committee for the building of 2 new schools in the town. As a town official at the time of World War I, he was a member of the Committee on Public Safety. They chose to live in the country because of their mutual love for nature. He was a member of the Harvard Teachers Association and the Boston School Teachers Association. Beth and her brothers and sister kept in close contact over the years. Round-robin letters were frequent and visits were made whenever possible. Both Clinton and Beth are buried at Sunnyside Cemetery in Taconic. Okay, so even though they lived in Massachusetts for that long, she still went back. She still went back and was buried there. Oh, wait. A poem still exists that Beth wrote. No date accompanies it. Whoa, so we have a poem that she... Okay, hold on. Winter Twilight. From midday lurking place in shadowy spaces, twist lay fringe and blackly running stream. The winter twilight steals through hidden places where... the quality is so bad. Where sheltered, snug from the wind, the chipmunk stream. From long day's rest lay in lacy curtained cavern, creeps out o'er snowy woods and hemlock ridge, with ghostly fingers points to friendly tavern, the weary traveler loitering on the bridge, now drooping ever silent through the hollow, disdains the flags and truce the birches fling, with darkening gloom enshrouds the lowland follow. When joy of morning run, the something sing, then up the wind swept knoll and through the lanes, pursues the dims in slanting pale rose light, quenching the fire of western window panes, spreading the dull gray blankets of the night. I mean, the faint thing in this poem shows that, yeah, she really did love nature. She was a big nature head, according to this. Okay, so hold on, if we go... Let's go back here real quick. So that's the only photo we have of her. But, okay, hold on. If we go back... And we do know she has all these siblings. If we go to the 1910 census, yeah, it doesn't give us any information on where exactly they were living. About the 1920. School Street. It just says FIM. It doesn't give us any... I want an actual, like, address number. Hold on. 1930? Okay, they're still on School Street. And again, it's not giving us a street number. Okay, 615, 820. This says 821. 739. Okay. 1950. 819. School Street. Okay, hold on. Let me pull up. Let me pull up Google Maps real quick, see if we can look up some of these places. Okay, so let's start... Really the only one we have officially is School Street, 821 School Street. So let me look that up. Okay. 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 So Mansfield is out here. I thought it was going to be closer to Boston. But this is School Street. This is saying that this is 821. Old Elm Street. I mean, there is a house there, but these are more modern houses. There's soccer, equestrian center. I mean, yeah, with a country road like this. Okay, wait, so School Street. Is this still considered School Street? Yeah, this is still considered School Street. This is also considered School Street. Okay, so from this street isn't that long. It goes from here, down here, through here, into here, where it turns into Elm Street. So if we go to Elm Street, or hold on, wait. Because this one says, wait, hold on. What was the one that we had actual? Okay, 821 is the first one we had that was an actual place. And this one says 739 or 737. I think that's 739. Let's see. Okay, again, yeah, another Hodges Brook. That's another, because there is this like entrance area right here. Honestly, what it looks like is that there. Oh wait, is that a? It's hard to read, but it looks like there is something there. There's this road here that goes this way. That ends like exactly where this road does. Because we look, yeah. They've kind of blocked this part of the road off with all these trees and stuff. So this is making me think that this was the road to the house, but that it's no longer there. It's a country house. So then, because if we then look at That was 1940. And then 1950, this is 819. Yeah, it's also right there. So I think honestly what happened is that, yeah, like the number changes so much because this is in the countryside, and I think those numbers kind of like constantly change depending on like if new houses were built or new things were added in certain places. Okay. So yeah, so unfortunately it doesn't look like the house that they lived in is still there. Okay, yeah, there was one other thing here I wanted to look at, which is this find a grave. Okay, so let's go to the actual website. Okay. All right, so here's find a grave. So this is her official gravesite. Elizabeth June Lighton Sheffey, born June 25th, 1882, died March 23rd, 1960, age 77. Wow, she had a lot of siblings. Look at all these siblings. Hold on, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Spouse Clinton. Yeah, died 1963. And they only have one of their children here, Luther, but we know they had two more. Okay, this looks right here looks like an excerpt from like a family record book. Okay. But yeah, that's... Yeah, that's her. And still buried, despite living in Massachusetts for a majority of her life, she still decided to get buried back in Tacanic. Okay. So I think one other thing I want to look up before we get to newspapers, there's one other thing I want to look up, just in case there's any other records that we missed. And that's going to be Family Search. Okay, let's sign in to Family Search. Okay. Let me just look this up real quick. Uh, 1882. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Here she is. Found her. So this is her Family Search account. Yep. Let's see if there are any other extra records here that we missed. Center shipping marriages, no. Okay, yeah, that's their marriage record that we already saw. Yep. It's also their marriage record, 1910 census, 20 census, 1930. I don't know why she's in the California death index, but she is. Okay, yeah, so there's nothing here that's new or different. Yeah, so this one unfortunately doesn't have any more information than we already got. Okay, so I think then let's go ahead and let's head on over to newspapers. Now this is going to be interesting because Bessie went by multiple names. But thankfully we know where she was living throughout all this time. So let's start with Bessie. We'll start with Bessie Lighton. We know she gets married in 1904. So let's start between 1880 and 1900. And we'll stick it specifically with Wyoming County. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, 21. Let's sort by oldest first. Okay. Wow, there's a huge spike in 1897 for newspaper articles about her. So let's see what we got here. The first one is from 1889. She would have been 7? Okay, here we go. Oh, yes, look at this. Okay, this is where I had seen her before. Miss Jeannie L. Thompson, accompanied by Mrs. Guthrie Thompson, Amy Brown, Bessie Lighton, and Mabel Lewis, spent several days of last week with friends at Beaumont, returning home Sunday. So yes, so again, Mabel Lewis and Amy Brown are also in this photo. So this is one of the newspapers that I had seen her name in before. Wow, okay. So again, just showing how everybody in this photo was connected in some point, or is connected in some way. Okay, the next one isn't until 4 years later in 1893. Junior Christian Society of the Presbyterian Church held an election of officers on Tuesday evening, and the following officers were elected. President Charles Kiefer, Vice President Miss Bessie Lighton, Secretary Miss Ruth Hodley, and Treasurer Harry Kittredge. Kittredge. Okay, so Ruth. Ruth is who we've researched already, and I think I do remember seeing this newspaper article when we researched her. And again, this is also proving my point that if they're not related family-wise, they're related because of the church, Presbyterian Church. Okay, this one's also 1893. Okay. A convention of junior Christian endeavor for this district was held at Ashley on Saturday. The junior society of this place was represented by Master Fred Shook and Miss Ruth Hodley. Mrs. Mame Shook and Rena Van Meter went with the children from there. The other members of the junior society present were Miss Mabel Lewis, Guthrie Thompson, and Bessie Lighton. Okay, so this is the same group that we just saw mentioned in this article. The Junior Christian Society. All right, this next one is from another 3 years later, 1896. Oh, hold on. The 14th anniversary of the birth of Miss Blanche Dietrich was celebrated at the home of her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Charles Dietrich of Solcombe Street, Tuesday evening of this week from 7 to 10 o'clock p.m. by many of her young friends and schoolmates, among whom were... Okay. So this is her... Okay, Blanche she's on the photo too. What number is she? Number 13. Yeah, she's number 13. Also, I just realized, I didn't notice this before. I forgot, there's a Marion Lighton in this photo. I completely missed that. Wait, hold on. Okay. Does she have a sibling? Marion, yep. There she is. All right, look at that. So this is, again, this also helps confirm that this is the same person that we're looking for. I also just realized she's the oldest sibling. Elizabeth is the oldest sibling out of all of her siblings. Everybody else here is younger. Okay, wait, and who are the other people at this party? So Bessie Ferris, Bessie Lighton was there. Marion Lighton, okay, also in the photo. Mamie Connell, Katie Connell, Susie Gardner, Eleanor Metcalf. Okay, that's the person whose birthday party was being celebrated. Helen Terry was also somebody in the photo. Ruth Platt, Nellie Briggs, Nellie Billings, Jessie Billings, Leah Thompson, Florence Cook, Carrie Cook, Fanny Depew, Pearl Dietrich, which I think Pearl is also in the photo, right? Yeah. Yeah, Pearl is too. Mary Rhodes, Fanlana, Avery. The evening was passed in a most social way, the program being made up of songs, games, and plays. A beautiful supply of refreshments consisting of ice cream, cake, and other good things was served. A 14-year-old birthday party in 1896. Okay, this is December of 1896, this next one. Last Sunday, Mary Mitchell, Bessie Lighton, Mabel Lewis, Guthrie Thompson, Fred Shook, Harry Lewis, and Harry Kittenridge were promoted from the Junior Christian Endeavor Society of the Presbyterian Church to the Senior Society. Okay, so they... Yeah, okay, wait. So at this point, yeah, they're all teenagers. So I guess they're not part of the junior group anymore. Because Bessie would be 13? 14. Yeah, 14. She'd be 14 at this point. Is this going to be the same thing? Hold on. This is also... Oh, okay, I do remember this. Okay, so this article is about a contest that their high school was putting on. At the high school on Friday of last week, the third and last preliminary contest took place, in which all members of the D class participated. The judges, after much deliberation, chose the following: Miss Nellie Billings first, Jane. Okay, yeah, Mabel Lewis. Yes, I do remember this. Bessie Ferris. This closes the preliminary contest and leaves the following to compete in the public entertainment to be given at Platt's Opera House the latter part of January. Ruth Hodley, Henry Full. Okay, yes, Bessie Lighton. Okay, yeah, so she was a contestant in this. And Ruth, I think this is the one that Ruth ended up winning. Because when we researched Ruth, we came across this, and Ruth ended up winning. I don't think Bessie got any other mention. Okay, this is February 1897. she'd be 15 at this point. A party of young people enjoyed a sleigh ride Monday afternoon by invitation of Miss Bessie Lighton. Oh, wait, I just realized something. Hold on. Because she was born in 1882, we don't know... We don't have a census record for her parents. Hold on. What did her parents do? What census record do we have for him? Okay, here we go. 1880 census. James Lighton. Dry goods merchant. Okay. Dry goods merchant. So this is right before he gets married, I get. Or is he married? Yeah, he's not married yet. But living in Titanic and is a dry goods merchant. So this must have been right before he got married and had Bessie. This is 1880. Okay, what's this one? February of 1897. Three upper classes at the high school have been undergoing training in elocution for some time past, and there have been a preliminary contest in each class determined on the three best, the 9 so selected to compete. Okay, yeah. So this is, again, the same contest that we've already looked at, and we know, spoilers, that Ruth won. I'm pretty sure this is the one that, yeah, that Ruth won. So that's February 26th. Hold on, is this... Yeah, okay, yeah, so this is it talking about it again. But here we see the decision was rendered as close to speaking as follows. So this is a speaking, like a speech contest. And Miss Ruth Hodley first, Miss Nellie Billings second, with special honorary mention to Miss Bessie Lighton. So she at least got a honorary mention. She didn't win, but I think that's pretty good that out of like all the high schools, she was in the top 3. That's still pretty good, considering there were dozens of people who participated in this. Is this talking about the same thing? I think this might be talking about the same article. Oh yeah, okay. So far, like, yeah, a lot of the ones when we researched Ruth were also involved Bessie. The New England Supper, which was given at the Presbyterian Church on Friday last night, was, as is usual with anything undertaken by the ladies of that church, a great success. The supper consisted of the good old-fashioned things which have made New England famous, and was well attended. That's interesting considering that she ends up living in New England. Hey, Aeon, good to see ya. Hope you're having a good evening. Hope you're doing good, Aeon. We are currently researching a girl by the name of Elizabeth or Bessie Lighton, and we found her, but only after we accidentally were researching the wrong Elizabeth Lighton for about like 20-30 minutes. Because that's how these things go sometimes. So yeah, and she was, yeah, Miss Ruth Hodley and Bessie Lighton of the High Order. Yeah, they were recitations. You know, I can barely say that word. Okay, yeah, so far it's been a lot of kind of repeat stuff. Stuff that we've kind of already seen. What's this one? During the past year, the speaking contests at the high school have awakened a lively interest not only among the contestants and students, but among the citizens of the town as well. On Tuesday last, the middle class contest was held at the high school building. Young people acquitted themselves well and showed that their training in this line during the past year had been most effective. Of the young ladies, Miss Ruth Platt and Miss Bessie Lighton were chosen as the best speakers, while the young men, Lindsay Drake and Charles Jones, carried off the honors. Okay, look at that. She won one. She won one of these contests. That's great to see. So she went from the year before being a runner-up. Oh, no, the same year. This is the same year, right? Yeah, this is the same year. To winning one, she went from being a top 3 to actually winning. I guess again, I guess this shows she was pretty smart, and I guess it makes sense because she did end up being a teacher for a little bit. All right. Okay, this is the same article. May of 1897. Third and the last of the preliminary contest of the high school took place on Friday. Took place, Class D were the contestants, the judges. Yeah, okay, I remember this one. Those taking part in the final contest will be Miss Ruth Hodley, Mame Little, Mr. Henry Fulmer and Victor Avery. Class C, Miss Ruth Platt and Bessie Lighton. Yep, okay, yeah. So yeah, she gave Ruth kind of like she was competition. And then the high school senior class composed of Ruth Pyatt, Bessie Lighton, Laura Steele, Lena Bergman, Tom Boyce, Ed Brown, Charlie Jones, John Borden, and Frank Freer had a recital on Friday afternoon last. Okay, so this is when she graduated, 1898, which makes sense. Oh, here we go. This is talking about her going to school. Miss Bessie Lighton has entered a seminary near Philadelphia. Well, wait, and look at this. Hold on, I just noticed. B.W. Lewis Esquire took a trip to Monroe Township on his bicycle Tuesday. Miss Helen M. Lewis returned Saturday from a 3-month trip to Europe. Look at that. That's 3 people that we've, researched so far, just mentioned back to back right next to each other. And I remembered when we researched Helen, I remember researching this European trip that she went on. Okay, so all these next ones are from 1900. Let's see. What does this one say? Guthrie Thompson, Bessie Lighton, Lulia Pyatt, F.D. Miller, Albert Northrop, George and Harry Kinridge, who have been spending the holiday at their homes here, have returned to their respective colleges. Okay, yeah, so this is when she was in school. So a lot of these articles are probably just going to be about her going back and forth. Okay, yeah, here. We see it here. Yeah, Miss Bessie Lighton, instructor and student at the Perkiomen Seminary, Pennsburg, Pennsylvania, is home for spring vacation. Where's Pennsburg? I think they said in that one article that's near Philadelphia. Okay. It's okay, it's not still kind of it's like in between. It's like in between Philadelphia and Taconic. Is there seminary here. Is that it? Seminary Street. This is probably it. It's just that now it's probably a high school. Yeah, Seminary Street, admission office. Yeah, that's it. This is the school. This has to be it. It's on Seminary Street. And a lot of these buildings here are probably from it. Yeah, this is a high school now. It's a cool building, though. Can't really see through the rest of these because of the trees. I wanted to see if you could see more of the school. Okay, so that's where she went to school. Let's see. Oh, whoa, wait, look at this. I didn't see this in the thing. Miss Bessie Lighton, who was valedictorian of the class of 1899. That's, wow, she was valedictorian. She was smart. And this is saying that she graduates at the Perkion Seminary at Pennsburg, PA in June. Wow. Wow, valedictorian. That's cool. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? This is her graduating, probably. Oh, I know. This is when she was a teacher. Last Saturday night, the school board met for the purpose of electing teachers for the ensuing school year, with the following results. Old teachers retained. Okay. These are all the people that were retained. The new teachers elected are Miss Sally Bentonine, intermediate, and Miss Bessie Lighton, primary. It is pleasing to note that the board of directors are unanimous in their determination to hold the schools up to the high standard of the past few years, and that it should be upheld by every taxpayer in the entire school district. We contend that our schools cannot attain to too high a standard, and Taconic can be justly proud of the fact that she has the best grad schools of any town of the same population. We accept none. Continue to elect good school directors, and we will continue to have good schools. Reverse would be a sad disaster to our educational interests. Yes, it definitely would. It definitely would be sad if they weren't able to keep it up. Okay. Public school opened Monday with large attendance. The high school is under the same officials. Oliver Morlock, principal, IT Keplery, and E.G. Rice, assistant. Among the teachers in the lower rooms, the changes are Miss Bessie Lighton in the place of Miss Mary Shook, now Miss F.C. Herrick, and Miss Sadie Bantana in the place of Miss Mary Jane. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's, again, showing that she was a teacher. Okay, so let's change the years here. Let's change it to 1901 to 1910. I don't know how many there's going to be during this era because we know she gets married during this range. But we also know that she leaves during this range. Why is it not? There we go. Okay. Okay, 12 matches. 1904, there's an up spike. That is also... What the heck? Why did it go back? My computer being finicky? Come on now, don't do this to me. Hold on. 1910. Come on. There we go. Okay, yeah, majority of them are from 1904. And it's only 12 matches this time. So 1901. Let's see what this one is. Oh, come on, computer, you can do it. You've given me no problems before. Come on. You've helped me way more than this before, computer. I know you can do it. Come on. There we go. Jeez, okay. Okay. Mrs. H.F. Metcalf gave a reception last Thursday evening in honor of the Lafayette College Banjo and Glee Club after the concert given by them in Piatt's Opera House for the benefit of the Presbyterian Church. Total receipts from the concert were about $80, which was equally divided after paying the expenses between the church and club. Among the ladies present were Miss Helen Lewis, yes, okay. Helen Northrup, Sarah Hodley, May Hodley, Stark Elizabeth, or Lizzie Stark, Elizabeth Kinridge, Jane Monroe, Bessie Lighton, there we go. And Marion Lighton, too. Okay, so she was, again, helping out the Presbyterian Church. Let's see what this next one is. This is from that summer. Miss Bessie Lighton went to Philadelphia yesterday, where she will pass the summer devoting her time to a course in music. Oh, interesting. So even after school, she's still continuing her education. This time, though, specifically in music. I guess, if she had a summer to kill when she's not teaching, she's not working, so I guess she might as well do something. Is this going to talk about her coming back, or is this a different thing? Yep. Okay, public schools of this borough opened on Monday for 9 months. Term teachers were as follows. Yep. And there she is. Still being a teacher for the school district. Let's see. Is this one also talking about her working for the schools? Okay, wait, hold on. Our usually quiet town was somewhat startled Saturday evening by seeing a very brilliant light across the river, also by hearing some very excellent singing, but upon investigation it was found to be only a corn roast. The following young people participated. Okay, yeah, there's Blanche, and there's Pearl, and Bessie, and Marion. Anybody else? I don't recognize any of these other names. Yeah. Huh. So a corn roast. I'm guessing that's kind of like some sort of like outdoor party. I'm guessing. That's what it sounds like. Some sort of outdoor party. Let's see. Attorney J. Wood Piatt and wife and Miss Bessie Lighton spent Thanksgiving in Syracuse with the former's daughter. Interesting. Why wouldn't she stay with her parents? That's interesting that she went with them for Thanksgiving and not with her parents. Okay, this is May 1902. Let's see what this one says. On Saturday last, Mr. and Mrs. W. Woodward of Meshopen celebrated the 25th anniversary of their wedding, and the following members of the DAR went up from this place to help make the occasion a lively one. Okay, yeah, then lists a bunch of people. Okay, H.F. Metcalf, B.W. Lewis, H.F. Metcalf. Okay, those are common names that we've seen several times already. And Bessie Lighton was also there. Billy Woodward is one of the most popular conductors on the Lehigh Valley Railroad and has hosts of friends in this section who will join us in congratulations. Look at that. Okay, September 11th, 1903. This is Charles Gray and Ray Holbert and Mrs. Fanny Stark and Bessie Lighton start on Monday for Pennsburg, where they will attend Perkiomen Seminary. Okay, so maybe she's going back for like a reunion? Some sort of event. Okay, this is February 25th, 1904. Mrs. Bessie Lighton and Fanny Stark were home from... Oh, no, she was teaching there. This is when she was teaching there. Because this is 1904 and saying that she's back from the seminary. This is when she was teaching there, I think. This is the same thing. Okay, here we go. Here's a marriage. The marriage of Miss Bessie Lighton, notice of which is printed elsewhere in this issue, comes as a pleasant surprise to her friends. She has been teaching at Perkiomen Seminary, and her husband was instructor in English at Andover College. Both will engage in teaching a summer school at Perkiomen during the vacation period. The bride is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. James G. Lighton and is very high esteemed. Okay, so there's also another thing that talks about their marriage in this newspaper. Hold on. Where does it talk about? Was it on previous page? Oh, marriages. Wedding bells. Marriages. If it is another thing that does talk about it, it must be like a tiny little blurb about it. Unless it's on the front page. I mean, it can be, but I doubt it. The New River Bridge into Titanic opened. Wilson, Nimble, Mill City. Marriages. Oh, here it is. I mean, it doesn't really give any... Yeah. On Saturday, June 5th, at the residence of the bride. Yeah, it doesn't really give that much more information. Okay. Come on. Load on up. There we go. September 1st. Professor and Mrs. C.C. Sheffy arrived from Pericoman Seminary on Tuesday to visit the latter's parents. Mrs. Sheffy was Miss Bessie Lighton. Okay, yeah, so now after this point, she's not going to be referred to as Bessie. Okay, and this is their birth of their son. A son was born to Mr. and Mrs. C.C. Sheffy at Andover, Massachusetts on November 10th, which raised Mr. and Mrs. J.G. Lighton to the honorable distinction of grandparents. Mrs. Sheffy was Miss Bessie Lighton, and her husband is a teacher at Andover Academy. Okay. Okay, so let me also just try Elizabeth here, because it seems like this is now when she's starting to change and go by Elizabeth, maybe? Okay, there's a few things here. Not that much. Daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Charles Dietrich weds Easton Professor. Residence Mrs. For their daughter. Oh, this is Blanche's marriage. I don't want to read too much because, again, I don't want spoilers when we research her. But now I guess we know she got married. Promptly at 8:30, the parties entered the room to the strains of the wedding march played by Miss Elizabeth Lighton. Okay, yeah, so Lighton, she was a musician for the church, playing the wedding song. Okay, this is the same article again. And these two are also the same article from the looks of it. Yeah, this is the thing we saw earlier in the other part of the newspaper. Okay, but now it looks like she's going to go by Mrs. CC Sheffy. Is that how it is? Hold on. SCHEFFY. Oh, what the heck? Why did it change? Miss C.C. Sheffy. Yeah. Oh, no, stop. Why are you doing that? Why is it when I scroll down you do that? Okay, here we go. Here's something. So once she got married, she's not really mentioned much in Titanic. She's mentioned a little bit in Titanic, but not a ton. Death of Mrs. J.G. Lighton. Mariah A. Okay, so this is her mother. This is the obituary of her mother. She was married at her home on June 16th, 1881, to James G. Lighton. She leaves behind a husband, 2 daughters, and 5 sons. So, yeah, she's listed here for her mother's obituary. Is this another thing? Professor Mrs. Okay, yeah, and then them visiting her father after the death of her mother. Okay, so this is, again, probably how she's going to be referred to from now on. Because once you get married, you lose basically your full name. Okay, and okay, now we know that they're also living in Andover. How long do they live in Andover for? And then after that, they spend the rest of their life in Greensburg, or in Mansfield. So, well, there's Andover. Okay, so basically, Andover is not that far from, Oh, wait, no, sorry, it's north. I was looking at the wrong... Okay, yeah, so they went from up here, from, like, northern, right by the New Hampshire and New Hampshire border, down here. Okay, what county is Essex County? So let's look up Essex County. County, Massachusetts. Okay, let's try just Sheffy. Nothing. I did spell it right? Yeah. Or hold on, what if we just do... What if we just do just Massachusetts? Nope, these aren't. Oh, wait, hold on. This is for Mr. of Harvard, instructor in English. Yep. This is when, yeah, he was still at Harvard. He was the instructor in English. Okay, so that's actually good to know. Yeah, what if we just do Sheffy? Is that going to be like too many? 1902. Okay, yeah, there are other ones here for him. But again, I want to see if there's anything after. Okay, here we go. 1905. There's just competitions were Principal Stern's annual contest competition declaration, abnormal prizes, study, character of Macbeth. Okay, so he was a judge in a competition, according to that. Okay, then there's this from 1907, which... Okay, wait, hold on. At the public meeting tomorrow, students will listen to an address Han Chao Sut Shi, sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, charged the affairs of the Chinese legation in Washington. The students have been housed in Phillips Academy dormitories and are being served in the Academy diner hall. The young women students, Quarters of the Woods, in charge of Mr. and Mrs. Clinton Ship. Wait, what is this? Students vote not to join World Federation. Principal Stearns gives them freedom of academy and grounds. Huh. So they're young women students in their headquarters at the Woods home on Rowlett Street in charge of Mr. and Mrs. Clinton C. Ship. So they were helping this Chinese delegation of students at the time. Okay. Hold on. Arthur A. Leonard has been appointed head of the English department, and Mr. Claude M. Foos, a graduate of Amherst and for 2 years a graduate student at Columbia, has been appointed to the position in this department left vacant by the resignation of Mr. Clinton C. Sheffield. Okay, so at this point, he is left. By 1908, he is left and stopped working there. And then this is 1910. Oh, okay, here we go. Changes many. The Boston School Committee, at its meeting last evening, authorized the retirement of annual pensions of 17 veteran teachers of the Boston schools. The following appointments of new teachers in high schools. Okay, so this is when he went to English high school. English high school. Yeah, Clinton C. Sheffy. Okay. So that's when he got appointed there. And what's this one from 1910? New faces in teaching corps, many changes in Boston schools, appointments, transfers, promotions made. Let's see. Well, English high school, Robert F. Allen, James, Clinton. from the eligible list. Okay, yeah, so that's again him working there at English High School. And that's it for between this era of 1901 and 1910. Let's just see, 1911 and 1920. Okay, some in 1915. But only 9 in total, that's it. And that's just with the last name Sheffy. That's not even being like specific, like for Mrs. or like his full name or her first name or anything. That just shows, I guess, that that's not that common of a name in this part of Massachusetts. Okay, what's this one? Bonfire a feature. West Mansfield celebration celebrates in recognition of election of Sheff School building appropriation. West Mansfield held a celebration this evening in recognition of the election of Clinton C. Sheffy to the school committee and securing a $15,000 central school building for the West Village. Exercises were held in Mystic Hall. The streets were light by red fire. President A.H. Baglow of West Mansfield Village Improvement Association was master of ceremonies. Speeches were made by Mr. Sheffy, a few other people, and others. Following the exercises, a huge bonfire was kindled in Central Square. Mr. Sheffy is junior master in the Okay, so he's not even just a teacher at this point. He's junior master. He's not just an English teacher. Okay, that's the same article. That's the same article. Same article. These four are just the same article. What are these other ones? It's from To Lake Cornerstone of West Mansfield School. Saturday evening, the exercises in connection with the laying of the cornerstone of the John H. Berry School at West Mansfield will begin. The West Mansfield Village Improvement Association will direct the affair. The school children will sing under the leadership of Mary W. Reed, teacher of the Briggs School. There will be addresses by Chairman Sheffy of the school board, Superintendent of Schools Fitz, and others of the building committee. So he oversaw, the building of this school, which is the school I think that they secured funds for in this article that they're talking about. Okay, this is a few months later. What's this one? Mansfield seeks Class B insurance rating. The Board of Trade held the opening meeting of its fall and winter seasons last evening. Vice President H.F. Dunbar was in the chair. A.H. Baglew, C.C. Sheffy, and H.W. Smith were admitted to membership. Okay. So he was also doing this as well. He was also on the Board of Trade for the town. It's this one. June of 1916. Let's see, is this anything? 95% in 4 years by Mansfield High pupil. The commencement exercises at Mansfield High School were held in Town Hall last evening. The program included violence, blah, blah, blah. Presentation of diplomas, C.C. Sheffy of the school board. Okay, yeah, so I think that thing we read also mentioned him being on the school board as well. So we also see him, this is an example of him, and he's handing out diplomas. So he seems to have dedicated his whole life to education. See what else we got here. Ships for the fence, not schoolhouses. Senator Lodge hits policy of Secretary Daniels. Hold on. The Republicans of Mansfield and neighboring towns and cities turned out in force to hear Senator Henry Cabot Lodge here this evening. Senator Lodge arrived here around 6, accompanied by Chairman Thurston of the Republican State Committee, and at the tavern was met by President Clarence A. Barnes, Secretary F.W. Day, C.H. Stearns, F.W. Barnard, C.C. Sheffy, and other officials of the Mansfield Hughes Club. Torchlit Parade. At Town Hall, President Barnes introduced Senator Lodge, who was greeting by 3 rousing cheers. Senator Lodge said it was the first. Okay, so the rest of this, I think, is just talking about, yeah, his thoughts. He was just part of that event. And what's this one? Clinton C. Sheffy, chairman of the school committee, congratulated the cadets upon their fine attainment and announced the winners as follows. Gold medal. High school graduation honors were awarded yesterday as follows. First prize to freshman Mansfield Cadet. Okay, he was a judge. Announced the winner. Yeah, so this guy, he was here for like an event for the military, which makes sense because it's 1917 when we just entered World War I. Uh, 21 to 30. Oh boy, okay. Okay, now we're getting stuff with their son, Carl. Yeah. Oh, what is this? Reports hitting a buggy. David F. Jackson, 39 Church Street, this town, reported to the police that at Sheffy's Corner last evening, he struck the rear of a buggy driven by James E. Lovelace of 101 School Street. Buggy was damaged to the extent that it was pulled to the side of the road, unable to continue. So, okay, so this also shows that where they were living had their own name, Sheffy's Corner. Which, again, is making me think of, like, when we saw that aerial view. This one. I mean, this could be the corner that they're talking about. This right here could be the corner that they're talking about. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this probably is their place. It's just that it's no longer standing because this. Look at this road. Then there's this other one here. Oh man, free of charge. Okay, wait, hold on. What is this? This is about a shooting. Robert Chapman, 24 of 84 Forest Street, Altborough, was arrested at 1:30 yesterday morning by patrolman Edward Gobbin of Attleboro on a charge of manslaughter following the death of Walter H. Chase of this town, was released in Attleboro this morning for lack of prosecution. According to local police, Chapman with Walter H. Chance of Grover's Lane, West Mainfield, and Everett Chase of 84 Forest Street, Attleboro, went rabbit hunting Saturday afternoon. While traveling over a path near in the rear of Clinton C. Sheffy's home on Sunday, or on School Street, Chapman's gun accidentally discharged, a bullet hitting Werner on the left side of the head and inflicting a wound that later caused his death. Chase was picked up and carried to the Sheffy home, and Dr. Frederick S. Griffin was called. After receiving first aid treatment, Chase was taken to the Mansfield, Massachusetts General Hospital, Boston, where he died at 7:25 p.m. Saturday. Jeez. Okay, so again, this is also showing that they had a rural house because there are people hunting behind it. That's crazy, though, that someone died on their property. Okay, what if I do Mrs. Clinton? Nothing. If I get rid of the period. No. Okay, so nothing about her, but if I just do Clinton. These are the ones that we already... Yeah, these are the ones that we already saw for the most part. Ms. Decker seeks place on Mansfield's committee. Oh, trying to vote him off. She's opposing Clinton C. Sheffy, who has been a member of the board for the past 3 years. Resides with his family on School Street. Okay. What if I change it to CC? I think that also shows them that a majority of those articles were about their kids. Okay, this isn't what we're looking for. What was this one? High school football. I guess we're Albert. What was this? Murphy to lead girl team at Mansfield High School. Because then if we go back to just doing Sheffy, yeah, 55. Yeah, Carl, Luther, CC. Clinton. Oh, wait, are these... Oh, are these like election results? High school masters. Oh, no, wait, no, this is... Wait, what is this? I don't think this is... I think this is a different thing. Yeah, this is something... This is something completely different. This is some sort of investment banking thing, it looks like. And Luther, yeah, okay. So I think then from here on out we can look up Clinton and CC. So let's try then 31 to 40. Start with Mrs. Clinton. Okay, here we go. Finally got some stuff. Only from 37 to 39. Okay, wait, hold on. What is this? Kin of ex-governor engaged to marry. Judge and Mrs. John G. Brackett of Arlington announced the engagement of their daughter, Miss June Clark Brackett, to Hubert Sheffey, son of Mr. and Mrs. Clinton C. Sheffey of West Mansfield. Miss Brackett is the granddaughter of the late John Quincy Adams Brackett, a former governor of Massachusetts. She attended Wesley College in the class of 1936 and graduated from Catherine Gibbs School. Mr. Sheffey prepared for college at Phillips Exeter Academy and was graduated from the class of 1936 from Harvard. So his son also went to Harvard as well. He's associated with the Eastman Kodak Company. Whoa, he worked for Kodak. That's cool. Their son ended up working for Kodak and married a descendant of a governor of Massachusetts. I mean, a very distant relative. Granddaughter. So not super close. And this is, I think... Or is this a different thing? This is a different thing. Mrs. Herbert. Okay, this is her. Oh yeah, no, it is still an interesting connection. And crazy enough, this is the second time that we've researched somebody that had a connection to a state governor, which is crazy. Crazy that that's happened twice. Mr. and Mrs. Clinton C. Sheffey. Okay. And then, yeah, it's the same article that we just saw. Okay, so what if I just make it Clinton? It's the one that we just read. Okay, so there's only one other article here for Clinton. Mansfield has drifts 10 feet high. Wow. That's crazy. Snow drifts 10 feet high. And it says here, the road to West Mansfield near the home of Clinton C. Sheffey on School Street was reported to be the worst place in the town. As far back as the road was opened, it drifted back again. So again, it gives us another idea of where his house is. On School Street, near the home of Clinton C. Sheffey. Yeah, considering, yeah, 10-foot high drifts, yeah, the house probably was under the snow. That's probably why I can't find it. It's still buried. Okay, so if that's Clinton... What about C? Nothing. Okay, so let's do 41 to 50. Okay, only one. 1943. Let's see if this is anything. Was attending. Okay, this is his Harvard class reunion. Yeah, we can see him there under the list that attended. I mean, he didn't have to go that hard. He was go that far. He was living in Massachusetts. So let's try Clinton again. What is this? Whoa, wait, what? What is this? Their first military engagement. Some of the 350 English high school boys who took the Army and Navy officer candidate test today, shown with Globe reporter Gene Casey encircled just before the start of the 2-hour examination. Okay, so it's a test. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're in the middle of World War II. And okay, then here. It was the most orderly classroom I was ever in. The two proctors, there to watch for any attempts at cheating or violations of the regulations, were Clinton Sheffy, senior member of the English department, and Charles Keelan, head of the mathematics department. They didn't have to reprimand one boy throughout the whole test. Okay. So yeah, so they were again showing that he's still working there at the time. But that's it. Hold on, if we just go to Chef, it's going to be too many, but I'm just curious. Really? Wow, I guess that's crazy considering how much like their kids were in the newspapers before. All right, and let's go 51 to 60, which should include Elizabeth's death. It should. Wait, this is Light and Sheffy. What is this? $75 given diplomas in Canton High. Okay, that's a person's full name. That's not who we're looking for. Wait, hold on. This is 1954. What's this? John G. Brackett. They were living... Right? They were living here during the time, right? Attleboro, Bristol County. Yeah, they were still living. Yeah, they were living in Massachusetts. But there's... Yeah, this is not... Carl, yeah, that's talking about Carl. That's the Light and the Chef. Okay, yeah, so where is she? Okay, what if we go 1963? Charles John, Andrew Sheffy. Okay, that's crazy that she's not here. She died in 1960. Okay, hold on. If she's not, if there's not a thing here. What if we go... Nothing. Hold on. It was 1960, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah, March of 1960. Hold on. This is obituary index. Elizabeth Enlighten. This is not the right person. Bessie Elizabeth. What if it's this? Does she really not have an obituary? This will be like one of the first... I think this will be like the first time we haven't found an obituary for a person. Okay, what if we just get rid of the place? Clinton? Nothing. CC? Carl? Wow, nothing. Could be much. Yeah, the only thing with that last name. Barbara Young becomes bride in Easton Church. It is odd, yeah, the fact that there's nothing for either of them. Because hold on, if we go back, let's do the same thing. Because yeah, because if there was going to be something, it would be in March or April. I'll maybe give April. Rose. There's for the stuff for this person named Rose Sheffy. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's do it for 1963. Because that's when... That's when he passed away. When did he die? Hold on. Okay, June of 1963. Let me narrow it down to June. I'll do June to August. Oh, whoops. Apparently I can't do that. I have to do 1 month at a time. Nothing. July? Tired blacksmith dies of 94. That's not him. William H. Yeah, this is not... That's not the right person we're looking for. They have tons of obituaries about this person, about William Sheffy, but nothing for our family. That's interesting. Yeah, I think this is the first time we didn't find any obituary. Wow, I am genuinely surprised by that. I thought we were going to have a little bit more, like, you know, more stuff to go through and everything, but I guess not. Okay, one thing I will do, just really quick. Just for that time, let's just do it. So after she gets married, let's just do 1911 to 1950 and just see if there's like too many. Okay, yeah. So she did go back a decent amount. Okay, hold on. there are some actually interesting things here. Well, first of all, it jumps from 1912 to 1926 to 1930. There's a couple things here. J.G. Lighton intends making some visits. He'll close his market. Except on Saturdays for the next 2 weeks. The boys will live with their sister. Mr. Lighton expects to visit his cousin. Relatives in New York and Brooklyn, then to Cambridge, Massachusetts to visit his daughter, Mrs. C.C. Sheffley, who lives only a few blocks from Harvard College, where his son Herbert is a freshman. Okay, yeah. So this is when she was living near there, living near Harvard. That's the same thing. And this is about a year later. Mrs. C.C. Sheffy, son Carl, and brother Herbert Lighton of Cambridge, Massachusetts, are here for a few days, called home by the illness of Delmar Lighton. Who's Delmar? Is that a sibling? Oh, that's one of their siblings. Delmar. Well, good news is that Delmar does live, because it says here he died in 1966. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, this is 1926. This is several years later. Mrs. C.C. Sheffy, Bessie Lighton. Okay, yeah, there we go. Look at that. Of West Mansfield, Massachusetts, has been spending the week in Taconic with her mother, Mrs. James E. Lighton, and her aunt, Miss Draper Billings. On Wednesday, the ladies visited Montrose relatives. Okay, yeah, so she is visiting, and it does still... That's cool that it still has her actual, like, name there. I would have never guessed that that would have happened. Okay, now this is the one that I'm interested in right here. Because I remember seeing this referenced on Ancestry. Prizes to mother and son. Mrs. James G. Layton of this place has received word from Mrs. Elizabeth Lighton Sheffy of West Mansfield, Massachusetts, that the latter took 2 prizes with her irises exhibited at the June Flower Show held in Horticultural Hall, Boston. Her collection of irises is now one of the large ones of the country. Boston Globe of about the same date announces 2 prizes of $20 each awarded to Luther Sheffy of Phillips Exeter Academy, New Hampshire, for special scholastic honors. Luther also recently won his E in the high jump in the Andover X-Eater meet. Oh, so it was like his Letterman letter? I'm guessing is what that means? Okay. And this one's a few days later. Is it saying the same thing? 20 years ago. Oh, this is... Yeah, that's just... I think talking about the past. Okay, this is September 18th. Oh, again, this is the same thing. Hold on. Where was it? Here it is. This one, yeah. I'm going to erase that one. Use this one. Yeah, because it shows. So this is actually good because it shows has resigned his position at the English department in Troy, New York High School to teach the English high school at Boston. Family will reside in Cambridge. There we go. Okay. But this is talking about 20 years ago. This isn't actually in 1930. This is 20 years ago. So I got to make sure when I copy this article that I include this part, because otherwise I'm going to be very confused about the timeline of like, why is this saying this took place in 1930? That makes no sense. He was already there at that point. Actually happened in 1910. Luther Sheffy. Oh, here we go. This is her selling her flowers. Irises, 14 good standard varieties, labeled postpaid $1. Mrs. Elizabeth Layton Sheffy, Lark Meadows, Iris Gardens, West Mansfield, Massachusetts. Lark Meadows. Hold on. Maybe I'll do that. I'll look at that up next. Okay, yeah, this is another ad. These are all ads for her flowers. Sheffys are grandparents now. They're trying to get used to the idea of being grandparents, a boy having been born on January 17th to their eldest son, Carl, and his wife, Annie Winter Sheffy of Andover, Massachusetts. Okay. It is also crazy that, like, I couldn't find any articles in Massachusetts that talked about her growing irises and, like, her growing stuff. Because here, we see another thing here about her irises. Took first prize. A former Tacanic lady excels in growing iris in New England. Tacanic friends of Mrs. Elizabeth Layton Sheffy of West Mansfield, Massachusetts will be interested to know that she took first prize this year in all 4 classes in which she entered at the Boston June Flower Show. 2 prizes in classes of artistic display and 2 in classes of beardless irises. The show was unusually large and successful this year, as a special effort was made on account of the coincident meetings. Blah. It's getting to that point in the stream where I can't talk anymore. Meetings in Boston at the annual meeting of the American Iris Society and the National Conference of State Garden Club Federations. Prominent growers and gardeners from many parts of this country and Canada were present in displays not only of iris, but many other flowers, and of landscaped garden effects was especially good. The show was held in the various halls of the Massachusetts Horticultural Society building. In an upper part of the building is housed one of the largest horticultural library collections in the world, a great boon to the many ardent horticulturalists privileged to make use of it. I wonder if there'd be stuff in there about her. But see, look, here's another one talking about, this is a year later. Succulent plants. Former Tacanic lady wins award at Boston show. The following is clipped from the Mansfield, Massachusetts News, and Miss Sheffy, who is complimented at the Boston Flower Show, is a native of Tacanic, being daughter of the late James G. Layton by his first wife. Mrs. Sheffy, though having been gone quite a number of years, still has many friends here. Okay, so this says that this was taken from a newspaper, from the Mansfield, Massachusetts News. That's making me think that there probably are newspapers with her, but they have not been digitized. That's what I'm thinking. So, Miss Elizabeth Sheffy of Lark Meadows Iris Gardens, West Mansfield, is featuring a window garden of succulents as a special exhibit at the Spring Flower Show being held in Mechanics Hall, Boston, this week. She has 50 square feet of space devoted to various combinations of plants hailing from the West, Southwest Mexico, South America, and Africa, and including Everias Inuiums, I'm sorry that I'm butchering all these names, from the Canary Islands, Crassulas, Calanchillos, Mexican sedums, Mesembryanthemas, cacti, and other succulent plants. These so-called succulents are becoming increasingly popular of late, as their interesting variety of form becomes better known and the ease of which they adapt themselves to the dry air conditions of ordinary house culture, provided they are given a sunny windowsill. A White Star of Thanks for her exhibit has been given to Mrs. Shafee by the show management. So she gave off, yeah, so she was specifically giving off a special show showing off these irises. That's cool. And this is May. What does this one say? From the Rockery. Or for the Rockery. 12 sedums and Superman all different. $1 post, Blue Dwarf irises, 6 for 50 cents. Oh yeah, this is another ad for her Lark Meadows. Okay. That's just another ad. Yeah, this is another ad for her selling her flowers. I'm glad we found these. Find collections from the Rockery. Mrs. Sheffy is also an extensive grower of irises, having about 1,000 different varieties? 1,000. That has to be a hyperbole. Are there really, like, you can grow that many different types of irises? In our classified column may be found the rock garden plant advertisement of Ms. Elizabeth Layton Sheffy. Mrs. Sheffy is a specialist in her line and has an exceptionally fine collection. It was in the recent Brockton Flower Show. She was honored with special felicitations of the judges for her special study collection of sedums and seperviviums for the Rockery. This collection includes a number of rare kinds not commonly offered in this country. By special request, she has arranged to show this collection at the Attleboro and North Attleboro shows and will probably also take it to the Boston Flower Show this month. Again, it is crazy that none of these articles are showing up in yeah, none of these articles were showing up in the Massachusetts newspapers. 20 years ago. Okay, yeah, this is another one of those, like, 20 years ago today this happened. Four Brothers. What's this one? Oh. Come on, don't do this to me. Hey, Al, good to see you. Thank you so much for lurking. Hope you're having a good time here. Hold on. I want to give you a shout out. I know you're lurking, but I hope I'm doing this right. Please go check out Almontis here. He is awesome. If you want to ever feel smarter, watch his streams, because he is actually, unlike me, he actually was a professor. And I hope I'm doing this right. There we go. Highly recommend checking him out. He, unlike me, was actually a professor of sociology, and now does VTubing and streaming, but talks about a bunch of really awesome, cool topics on stream, and also does really awesome calligraphy streams that I highly recommend you recommend. So yeah, I highly recommend you check him out, because you'll watch his stream and you will feel smarter. I certainly do. Every time I watch, he talks about really cool and awesome things that I didn't even think about. Oh yeah, I was just about to ask that, Al. Yeah, who was the other Adam Punk? I'm curious. I am curious about that, who the other one was, but that's awesome also that Al mentioned or recommended me to you. Oh, Sparkly okay, yeah, Sparkly is also, yeah, I've seen them in Al's chat and Discord as well. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Sparkly. But yeah, sorry, I won't bother you anymore, Al. I know you came in here to lurk, so yeah. So go ahead and enjoy your lurking. I won't bother you anymore. All right. Let's see. What else do we got here? Oh, this is another one of those 20 years. Yeah, 20 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, another one of those 20 years ago things. Let's see. What about this one? Miss writes that her son Luther sets sails for Italy. Especially interested in... Okay, that's just talking about their son going to Italy. What is this one? Engagement announced. Okay, this is their son getting engaged. Okay. That's their son getting engaged. Let's see, what's this one? Returned to her home and spending the past week with relatives here. Okay, yeah, so even 1938, so she's still going home and visiting her family. What's this one from 1939? Out-of-town people here to attend the funeral of Miss Hannah Loomis were... Okay, so she was here for a funeral. Okay. And then, yeah, 1940 is when the records stop. Stork's visit. Okay, this is their them having a grandkid. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's good that I decided to look at this county. Okay, hold on, wait, what was the name of her farm again? Lark Meadows. Yeah, Lark Meadows. Hold on, let me... Lark Meadows. Oh, wait, hold on, I need to... I need to change the... Let's change the Massachusetts. A lark for me. No. This is... Wow, that's crazy that there are all those ads in Tacanic. Meadowlarks. Okay, yeah, no, this isn't it. That's crazy that there's nothing in actual Massachusetts where it was located. The famous of these 3 famous washers recommend... Okay, no, that's an ad for a different thing. Lark Haunted. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's an ad. But that's it. So we got two ads that, or no, one ad. It's just the same. It's the same ad posted twice. That's all we have for Lark Meadows in Massachusetts, where it was actually located. Siberian irises, extra strong, acclimated stock. Send for list of fall bargain prices. Lark Meadows Iris Gardens, West Mansfield, Massachusetts. Lark Meadows. Hold on. Lark Meadows. Oh, wait. Hold on. What is this? Okay, I found some stuff here. I found this. Is this the right thing? Hold on. Distribution department, low service spot pond, looking towards Lark Meadows from Cranberry Cove. General views, coverage Massachusetts. Cranberry Cove. Description, Lark Meadows. Okay, hold on. Maternal Waterworks collection. Title, Distribution Department, Low Service Pond. Towards Lark Meadows from Cranberry Cove. Lark Meadows from southeast. The dike should keep the land trees possible. Stoneham, Massachusetts. Creator Olmsted Brothers. Lark Meadows from southeast. Metropolitan Waterworks. Where's... Hold on. Is this the same? This could be a different Lark Meadows. From Cranberry Cove. Where's Cranberry Cove? Oh, wait. Hold on. There was in the thing, in one of the descriptions, she talks about, yeah, she talks about, so we do have a description. Unfortunately, this is terrible quality. I don't know. I think this is somebody's just like personal typings. Oh, look at this. And here it says that there is an obituary note. Boston Herald. 9th of June, 1963. So there is an obituary. It's just, I guess, not digitized. Where was the thing that talks about... Yeah. The Taver's home was in Westminster, Massachusetts, called Lark Meadows. DeMar Lighton, Beth's brother, wrote to his family in Taconic the following. I very much approve of the farm. Friday, Beth's son, took me all over the place, and then to the cranberry crop. So this could be it. This could be it. Because they do specifically mention cranberries, and this is taken looking towards Lark Meadows from Cranberry Cove. And hold on. Pull up Google Maps again. Is there anywhere? I mean, okay, I mean, there's a pond here. Glenwood Lake. I mean, there's not really... Oh, well, there's this. Norton Reservoir. That's a reservoir. I mean, there could have been ponds or stuff around here. It's just they could have been drained. Mary... Hold on, does it say anything about a lake nearby? Ports of Lark Meadows. It's just a low-service pond reservoir. So yeah, it's just a pond reservoir. So it easily could have been like taken out or changed over time. Yeah. It's hard to say. What is this? Oh, whoa, wait. What is this? Okay, this is from me Googling Lark Meadows. This is from the Biodiversity Heritage Library. Title, Lark Meadows, Fall 1954, Spring 1955. By Lark Meadows, Henry G. Gilbert Nursery and Seed, Trade Catalog Collection. Publication initial, West Mansfield, this is it. Subjects, daylilies, irises. Yep. Is this it? This is it. Look at this. Oh, whoops, hold on. Need to zoom in. Where's the zoom on this? Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, Lark Meadows, West Mansfield, Massachusetts. Who loves a garden, still his Eden keeps. Specialties, beardless irises, shipment. Yeah, wow. Okay, yeah, so this is all the... These are the prices of all of the irises and everything that they have. Right? Yeah, look at... Wow, look how many that they have. Group 2. Group 3, older varieties. Siberian irises, light blue. Jesus, look how many there are. Is there anything here about... Yeah, look. Return postage guaranteed. Lark Meadows, Miss Elizabeth L. Sheffy, West Mansfield, Massachusetts. Just registered by U.S. Department of Agriculture. Look at that. That's awesome. So we found something that's actually her... We found something that's actually from... And basically an advertisement for her... Everything that she was growing. Which is a ton. She was a professional gardener, basically. Hold on, is this another one? I think this is another one. Hold on. Lark Meadow Iris Gardens, Fall 1930, Season 1934. Yeah, this is her. Yeah, look, she's actually listed. Hold on. Are there other things here, or is it just that? That's the only one that they have here that specifically has her name on it. But this is for the 19... This is the 1933 season, so this is almost 20 years earlier. Oh, come on, please load. Hold on. Lake Meadow Iris Gardens. Oh, come on, why is it not? Okay, there we go. Now it's loading. It just takes a little bit. But yeah, it's basically the same thing. Like all these different irises and flowers that she was growing. Japanese irises, more irises, select list of perennials. Oh wait, oh, here's the thing that she wrote. Oh, please load. Okay, here we go. Wow, look at this. This is from her. Okay, I think... All right, it is unfortunately getting late. And I think this is where, after I finish reading this, I think I'll put some info. I need to fill out or actually, no, I'll do that. I can do that off stream. But yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll read this real quick, and I think that's where we're gonna call it for today because this is crazy that this person grew up to basically be a professional gardener, like nationally recognized for her irises. All right, dear fellow gardeners, a lively interest in many kinds of plants has led to gradual accumulation of many varieties that I am now able to offer. Besides irises, a select list of other goods that make the garden interesting from early spring until late in the fall. Hold on, I'm gonna just try and zoom in again so we can. There we go. Okay, that's easier for me to read. I might say all the year round, for many perennials, are almost gone or are almost more attractive in their winter forms than in summer. The crimson stalks and seeds and seed pods of Penstemon smalley, for instance, are quite ornamental. Slow, smokeless burning shafts and the rich winter colors of many of the sedums and semper viviums, I'm sorry for butchering all these plant names, are a joy during the somber months of the year. Then, too, the culture of the perennial tender succulents opens up a fascinating indoor winter sport. These accommodate themselves surprisingly well to the average dry air house conditions, provided they are given plenty of sun. The Lake Meadows collection of them, 50 square feet, that won a special award at the Boston Spring Flower Show, was assembled from the windows of our home. That's okay. That's the competition that she won that we found the articles about. We have the articles for those. This summer, they have flourished in a special part of the rock garden. One of our fields has proved to have ideal soil for pennies, hemerocallis, and phloxes. Another given excellent results with the Siberian and other beardless irises, while a rock-capped knoll back of the house is making a good home for many rockery plants, including a collection of sedums, second to none in the country, I believe. These have been carefully checked so far as possible with Prager's monograph on sedums and many mistakes in names corrected. At present, I am unable to list the Sepervivums under anything but their current trade names. Some of the finest were received under number only. Many came from California, but have wintered well in the open here, with the slight protection of stones placed around them to prevent their heaving out. Surely there are few hobbies that can vie in interest with that of acquiring a good collection of these beautifully cut and multicolored jewels of the rockery that need no platinum setting to enhance their charm. As to the Siberian irises, if your garden does not contain some good clumps of these, you are missing one of the best garden subjects, with flower masses fine for landscape effects, delightful for cutting, and with foliage unexcelled as a foil for that of other plants. Butterfly particularly good for formal effect, or butterfly is particularly good for formal effect, with its trim, upright, rounded clumps that make a fine boundary of hedge planting. Flory Riddler, Kingfish Blue, Thelma, and Morning Magic are varieties that have proved, when well established, to have a noticeably long blooming season lasting well into July. Many people who come to the garden during the summer seem surprised always to find some of the hemerocallis in bloom, and to learn that it is possible to have a succession of their cheerful sunshine from May into September. While few of the fine new hybrids are yet available at ordinary prices, there are a number of good order ones still comparatively uh, little known, but they're useful, little known but very useful, such as the early rich orange Dr. Regal, and some fine golden Florham and Luteola, mid-season, and the stately late blooming Katrina in pale yellow, especially fragrant and beautiful at sunset time. When Mrs. Roosevelt was asked recently what was the greatest thrill she got out of living at the White House, she is said to have replied that she believed it came from having all the flowers she wants to pick and plenty to give away to flower loving friends. As ever, White House or college, or as ever, White House or cottage, who loves a garden, still his Eden keeps. Elizabeth Leighton Sheffey. Wow. That's cool that we have something that was written, by her. As an advertisement. I mean, and she definitely knew what she was doing. She won multiple awards for her plants. And you're just looking at this list of how many different types of flowers she was growing. It's insane. Lake Meadows Iris Gardens. All right. So yeah, I think that's where we're gonna leave it for today. We found a lot of cool stuff, things that, I Wow. Okay, so just a quick summary. We started with the photo above that we know her name was uh, Bessie Lighton. Bessie is her nickname. Elizabeth is her full name. She was born in Tacanic to James Lighton. She ended up going to school, to a seminary, and then she ended up becoming a teacher for a little bit until she got married. She got married in 1904 to Clinton Cyrus Sheffley. They had 3 boys together: Carl, Luther, and Hubert. And while Clinton worked as a English teacher, Elizabeth was busy planting and growing a garden, winning awards for her crops, and having these advertisements and selling this many things. Like, this is crazy. Also, it's hard enough. I have a hard enough time with a handful of plants. Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I didn't think about it. This is crazy timing. My parents literally just sent me like a plant that I just started like taking care of like a few days ago. This is like my first plant I've ever had to take care of in my apartment. So this is a crazy sign. This is a sign, hopefully. I hope I can take some of Bessie's energy and help me with growing my own plants. Wow. What a crazy stream we had today. All right. So yeah, that's going to do it for today, folks. Let me go ahead and switch on over here to our classroom. Oh, sorry for the creepy Victorian children jump scare. I forgot I had this up. But yeah, this is it for today. We've officially looked at 11 of the people in this photo. We're almost halfway. By Sunday, we will officially be halfway. All right, so let me go ahead and put this away and make myself bigger. All right. So yeah, that's going to do it for today, folks. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new here, I'm not a professor, but you can call me Nap. I do history and research streams like this every Sunday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But also, I sometimes do guerrilla streams where I stream games on just kind of anytime I have free time, which I'm thinking about doing one this weekend. I'm not sure if it's going to be Friday or Saturday, but we'll see. So if you want to know when I go live next, make sure you go ahead and follow so that way you'll know and you won't miss one of these streams. We'll continue researching this photo. Because while I don't know what we'll be doing possibly this weekend, I do know Sunday we will be our next stream and we'll be researching number 12, and we'll officially be halfway done with this photo project, which is insane. That's taking it is insane how long this project is taking. This is the biggest project I've ever done for something like this. Also, I have linked down below my YouTube channel if you want to go ahead and follow that, where I post shorts. I post shorts covering the various things that we've discovered on these streams. And yeah, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to find somebody to raid real quick. If you guys could stick around for the raid, that would be great. Greatly appreciated. Let's see. Let's see. See if somebody else who's also doing reading and writing. Let's see. Let's see, who else? Let's see, who else is live? Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and give some support to Adri Wonderland. We've rated them recently. And we can go ahead and show them some support. All right. Now let me go ahead and get the raid message going. Okay, so that's for subscribers, and then for... Oops. And then... And I'll make one for followers. All right. So yeah, that's going to do it for today, folks. Thank you guys so much again for being here. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day or evening wherever you are. And yeah, next stream will be for definitely Sunday, but possibly one this weekend, either Friday or Saturday, just playing some games and chilling. So yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight. Thank you guys so much again for being here, and I will see you guys next time. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.